All generational cohorts have different desires and values, and this is no different when it comes to recruiting people of various ages for jobs. We have the baby boomers, who are born around the mid-1940s to early 60s, the Gen Xers, born from early to mid-60s to the early 80s, the Gen Yers, better known as millennials, who are born around the mid-80s to mid-90s, and finally, the Gen Zers, whose oldest are just starting to enter the workforce, and they are born around the late 90s to late 2000s. So how can employers attract, recruit, and retain talent based on people's unique generational needs?
When we think about the baby boomers, really what they've been looking to do within organizations is come in and put their stamp on things, raise their profile, differentiate themselves, and ensure that they can really be a star within your organization. And so when we think about recruiting that cohort, we're obviously bringing in highly seasoned individuals, folks that have invested heavily in their careers, which you may want to integrate into your team, either as a coach, as a mentor, as a senior leader. And the way to do that from a recruiting perspective is really being sure that you can tap into how do you deliver market leadership? How can you allow them to be a star? When we're thinking about engaging younger cohorts, it's really important for the millennials to understand what is your corporate social responsibility. They want to understand how are you going to support them in learning and development, what's their career development look like, and how can they have a flexible work arrangement for you. Gen Z, this generation in fact is looking for a lot of stability and loyalty. So one of the key messages that organizations can look to apply or integrate into the recruitment messaging when they're targeting Gen Z is the stability that you offer, the way in which you can commit to them as an employee, and the win-win that you're looking to achieve.
The different techniques that we use in terms of hiring millennials versus more seasoned employees. With millennials, we're still looking at campus recruiting, so that would be the biggest difference in terms of sources. With experienced hires, we leverage a LinkedIn model quite frequently, where we spend a lot of time looking at our connections and of all of the Deloitte employees and building out and searching for people who have some interesting experience.
You want to make sure that you keep your baby boomers engaged. You want to make sure that you give them opportunities, as I said, to be a star, to raise their profile. With your Gen Xers, you want to give them that independence and the opportunities to deliver results that they can be proud of and that they can communicate in their LinkedIn or tweet about. For your millennials, they want to make sure that they have the latest technology, that they're being able to integrate their personal and professional lives together in a fun work environment. For your Gen Zs, what we're seeing is that I think key messaging here is going to be around how are we going to support you and how are you going to be able to grow in your organization, and how can we make sure that we leverage your tech savviness in order to deliver results for our clients.
I don't know at Deloitte that we see a challenge necessarily with having different generations in the workforce. We see it as a positive. We've had to adapt for sure, and sometimes that can be challenging, but we have adapted.